Ambition is destruction. Love is a poison. No one gets what they deserve. The Penguin lives up to the hype set by the Batman, carrying on the movie's themes of systemic injustice. It dives deeper into themes of loyalty, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of status that spawns from a life of eating dirt at the bottom. Oswald Cobblepot is reimagined as OSCOB, a low-level gangster and metaphorical devil whose greed ensnares everyone around him in a destructive cycle. I've seen a ton of comparisons to The Sopranos or Breaking Bad, of average men whose dark sides push them to survive and conquer at any cost. But the Penguin is a severely darker picture of that kind of character. Oz isn't just morally compromised. He's the kind of evil worthy to be called a nemesis to the legendary Batman. Heads up, I'm gonna spoil almost the entire first season, but I'll deliver you the story in a way that'll still make the show worth watching. The show has 4 integral characters we'll focus on: Oz Cobb, Victor Aguilar, Sophia Falcone, and Francis Cobb. We'll start with the childhood of our titular bird-themed gangster. As a kid, we see Oz has an unhealthy focus on his mother, Francis Cobb. Big Norman Bates vibes. He's especially jealous of his brothers. The younger Benny receiving a ton of warmth and affection, the older Jack given more responsibility and trust. Jack is entrusted with dealing with the gangster Rex Calabrese, who pays Francis for bookkeeping. This leaves the needy middle child feeling he never gets the love or respect he deserves. The club foot doesn't help much either. While playing hide and seek in some underground tunnels, Oz gets angry at his brothers and locks them behind a steel door. He leaves them to rejoin his mother to watch a movie, happy to have alone time with her. As the rain picks up, Oz keeps looking out the window, checking for his brothers. Of course they never come, and Oz never says anything. Whether he knew the consequences of his actions at the time is unclear, but Oz gets what he wants: the unrestricted love and devotion of his mother. With help from Rex, Oz digs his way up through the crime world as the driver for the Falcone family, then owner of the Iceberg Lounge, and then to a meeting with Carmine Falcone's son, the new head of the family, Roberto Falcone. You'll remember Carmine Falcone was an antagonist in the Batman film. It's during their meeting, Berto hits Oz with his unwanted moniker, the Penguin, given to him for his stout build and the limp from his club foot. This name reminds Oz of his lowly station, the lack of respect, the shit he has to eat to survive. Oz shoots him dead. So imagine you're a nobody who just killed one of the highest level mob bosses in Gotham. What do? Me? Honestly, I'd bail. I would get the hell out of there. But Oz is a schemer. He pins the killing on the Maronis, a rival crime family to the Falcones. At the same time, he promises boss Sal Maroni he'll be a mole in the Falcone family. He does this by schmoozing his way into the good graces of Carmine Falcone's daughter, Sophia. One of the things I like about this series is how it highlights that this dog-eat-dog system disproportionately affects the vulnerable. Women, the poor, the trusting. These groups are repeatedly shown to suffer the most, making the Penguin a critique of societal hierarchies and the cost of survival in a corrupt world. Sophia Falcone is the best example of this. She's framed by her father for murders he himself committed, all for even questioning his involvement. His signature strangulation and hanging of victims curses Sophia with the moniker of the Hangman. Sophia endures the horrors of Arkham Asylum, where she's subjected to brutal medical malpractice and inhumane torture under the guise of rehabilitation, electroshock therapy, dehumanization, and attacks from other inmates define her trapped existence. Her 6-month holding period before trial stretches indefinitely as judges refuse to touch her case. Yet another sign of her father's far-reaching influence and cruelty. With no other recourse, Sophia can do nothing but adapt and survive for 10 grueling years. Through Sophia's story, the Penguin underscores the unspoken second-class citizenship that women often face. Her experiences reflect how women can be sidelined, manipulated, and reduced to pawns and victims, especially in family hierarchies, where power dynamics typically favor men. Finally freed, Sophia is resolute in reclaiming her place within the Falcone crime family, even as the rest try to push her out. We find out Oz is the one who told Carmine that Sophia was talking to a reporter. Sophia even confronts him on this. He claims he had no idea what would happen, even tearfully apologizing to Sophia in his own selfish way. Sophia and Oz kind of mirror each other. Both are under-respected, slapped with labels they neither asked for or deserved. This kinship leads her to partner with Oz, unaware that he's also dealing with the Maronis. This relationship is uneasy. They both are using each other to achieve their own goals. But when the Maronis launch a surprise attack on Sophia and Oz completely abandons her, escaping to safety. Isolated and with no allies left, even within her own family, Sophia carries out a violent reckoning on her own family, fulfilling the role of the hangman that was thrust upon her. She takes over the crime family and trades her father's name for her mother's. The Gigante crime family is born, and Oz gains a sworn nemesis. There's a domino effect that travels throughout the whole story. One terrible act leads to another, and leads to another. It all starts with Oz killing his brothers, and from there, he becomes a black hole that sinks everyone unfortunate enough to deal with him. One of these unfortunates is Victor Aguilar. Victor's past is connected to the events of the Batman. Riddler's flood destroyed his family's home, killing them in the process. He enters the story trying to steal the rims off Oz's car. Oz takes him hostage, forcing him to help him hide Birdo's body, and threatens to kill him. Vic begs for his life, pledging himself to Oz. A partnership begins. Vic assists Oz in his schemes, getting a new drug called Bliss pushed on the streets. Vic is now seeing more money than ever before. Then his girlfriend tells him she wants to leave Gotham. Both their families died in the Riddler attack, and now there's nothing left in this corrupted city. He wants Vic to come with her, and he agrees. He fears Oz might kill him over trying to leave, but surprisingly, Oz is more disappointed than anything. He wasn't keeping Vic hostage. He was giving him an opportunity, one never given to him, and that a nobody like Vic will never see again. Vic leaves for the bus station to join his girlfriend, even taking Oz's Wario car, the madman. This is about the time when the Maronis attack Oz and Sophia, but Vic comes back for a daring rescue of Oz, who tells Vic to leave Sophia behind. One bond is formed as another is broken. Vic becomes an invaluable asset to Oz, truly believing in his ambitions, rallying low-level mittens who have eaten enough shit to believe in Oz too. Oz steals Sophia's Bliss supply, burns to death Sal Maroni's wife and son, then gives the old man a heart attack during a fistfight. But more important than any of that, Oz allows Vic into his mother's home. Frances Cobb suffers from a condition called Lewy body dementia. This means she needs almost constant supervision. She slides through moods. Loving mother, elderly cynic, abusive tyrant, confused old woman. Sometimes she forgets her other sons are dead. Sometimes she forgets what time period she's in. We get a glimpse at the disturbingly intimate relationship between Oz and Frances. They hug, they dance, they squabble. What's clear is that Frances is the root of Oz's ambitions, the love he's desperate to attain by proving himself. In one of her lucid moments, Frances admits she's afraid of losing her mind completely and makes Oz vow to help her end her life if that happens. As Oz builds his empire, Vic is trusted to take care of Frances, but even Oz's own mother can't escape the suffering he causes. He forces her to hide in abandoned tenements, no heat or electricity, until Oz works his magic on Councilman Sebastian Hardy. This feat continues to endear Oz as a man of the people, but also helps lead Sophia to them. While Frances is held captive, Sophia uses the Arkham doctor, Julian Rush, to probe into Frances's past, specifically into the fate of her sons. We find out Frances has always known what Oz did. The realization that she had fostered a devil in her own home is part of what shatters her psyche. Rex suggests there are two ways to handle people like Oz. Bring him into the world of crime on a short leash, weaponizing his psychopathy, or kill the kid. Full of resentment, Frances chooses the latter. She takes Oz to a fancy dance club. One last glorious night before turning him over to Rex. But even as a kid, Oz's charm is exceptional. He promises his mother the sun and the moon, everything she has ever wanted and deserved. A penthouse, tools, endless admiration and devotion. Broken and alone, Francis accepts and dances with Oz. The first domino falls. Sophia tortures Francis in front of Oz, demanding he admit what he did to his brothers to his mother's face. But even as Sophia threatens to chop off one of his mother's fingers, Oz plays innocent, denies everything. He blames Francis' sickness. The level of denial even shocks Sophia. Francis tells Oz she always knew what he did and has always hated him, that he's the devil. He breaks a bottle and stabs him in the gut. Francis enters a delirious state, collapses and hits her head. Oz pulls off a miracle escape, taking his mother to the hospital. Besides Oz, Sophia has one problem. On the night she massacred her family, she took her young niece Gia outside in the guise of camping. This spared the young girl. But now, in a juvenile facility, Gia is telling the police that she remembers something. Sophia visits Gia and starts to gaslight her about what she did. But it's there Sophia realizes that she has done the same to Gia that her father had done to her. Steal her life, her family, gaslight her, and lock her away. Out of all the characters, Sophia is most aware of the cycle of abuse and trauma. Seeing that she has effectively played into her father's game, she's horrified. She plans to leave the poisoned Gotham behind, but she just can't let Oz off the hook. She offers full ownership of her family's territories and soldiers to whichever crime boss can bring her Oz's head. Now tell me if you can guess who gets the upper hand. Oz managed to rally enough low-level goons in his side to pull off a coup against the crime bosses, leaving Sophia at Oz's mercy. Oz takes a despondent Sophia to the waterfront, where she accepts her death. But ever the master tactician, Oz turns Sophia over to the police. With the help of Councilman Hardy, Sophia is blamed for all the chaos caused in their turf war, along with the killing of her family. Sophia is returned to Arkham Asylum, more corrupted than ever, her title of the Hangman now justified. Returning to the hospital, Oz finds his mother in a near comatose state. With all the conflict, she suffered a massive stroke. Victorious and fulfilling the promise he made as a kid, Oz can never achieve the praise and admiration he always wanted. Oz and Victor sit by the waterfront, discussing their bittersweet victory. Vic praises Oz as a great man, a hero, and family to him. In return, Oz strangles Vic to death. While family can make you strong, it's also a major source of weakness. Now that Oz is at the top, he can't afford that kind of vulnerability. Rip Vic. In the final scenes, we see Oz dressed in recognizable penguin garb. The vest, the coat, top hat, cane, all that. He finally gets his mother that top-floor penthouse view, comatose, staring out the window at the beautiful skyline. Oz broke his promise to end his mother before this happened. A tear drips from Francis's eye, and Oz says with a smile, "I know. It's beautiful." Oz dances in his private ballroom with a woman dressed just like his mother from that fateful day. He calls her Ma, has her tell him she's proud, that she loves him, and that no one can stand in the way of his rule of Gotham. And right at the end, the bat signal flashes in the sky. The Penguin carries a recurring theme. No one escapes. No one gets what they deserve. The show's characters are driven by a need for love, loyalty, or respect. Lives of eating shit at the bottom have left them desperate for a taste of justice and prosperity, and Oz is the purest, densest form of this. The black hole at the center of all things, a Satan figure whose deals leave people more broken than before. But more than just his ambition or his ruthlessness, the scariest part about Oz is how he can lie even to himself. Was he just lying while his mother was being tortured? Or did he really delude himself into thinking he had nothing to do with his brother's deaths? Does he really think his mother's happy as a vegetable with a skyline view? Can he genuinely think of himself as a man of the people when everyone he deals with ends up broken or dead? I get the sense that when Oz talks, everything is equally true and false. The only thing that matters is how it benefits him in the moment. And by the next moment, history and context rewrites itself. Oz's evil is so potent, so engaging, because he's not a cackling supervillain, and I don't think he's even a sadist. He loves, he cares, he hates, he cries, and he laughs, just like everyone else. But unlike most people, none of that can get in his way. Nothing can stop the Penguin, not even himself. In essence, the Penguin is a grim, compelling study of Gotham's underbelly, where love and loyalty are liabilities, and the grind for status comes at the ultimate cost. In the end, the only ones who survive are the worst of us all. Thank you for watching. I think The Penguin is some of the best television I've seen in a long time. It makes me really excited for the Batman sequel that should be coming out, I don't know, 1-2 years? Who knows? If you like this video, I have other Batman-themed videos available. I'm also a comic writer myself, and a lot of my comics are available to read for free on GlobalComix. This includes the first issue of my crowdfunded series, Brer Rabbit in the Jazz Age, a 1920s noir set at the height of the tyranny of the Ku Klux Klan, where a shaman sleuth is investigating supernatural crimes. I'm currently working on getting issue 2 ready for a campaign, so hopefully that'll come out soon. Do a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff, and keep on reading.